fall fishing. When a lot of people start thinking about fall fishing, they're thinking deep water. The summertime walleyes that were down deep are still going to continue to go deeper as they roll into the winter, and that may be true in several cases and on several lakes. But what a lot of us overlook is a shallow water bite in the fall. That is one of the best bites around. It can produce some big fish, and if you can find those fish shallow, they're only there for one reason, that's to eat. We're out here on the Missouri River today, and it's simple. We're just pitching a little 1/8 ounce Northland tackle fireball jig with a crawler. A plastic, a minnow, all these things are going to work really good in the fall. As the water temperatures drop, I'm going to go to more to the minnow or a crick chub or a plastic versus the crawler. As we start to get less light, these fish are going to move up into these shallow flats off those deep channels in the evenings and mornings, or if the wind's blowing just right during the day. Those fish are there to feed, and if you can find them, you're going to catch them. The tall tale at this time of year is a lot of the bait fish, the shad that are out there, the young of the year, are going to get pushed up by the white bass and even the walleyes and what have you, the smallies. They're going to chase those up, and they're going to tell you right where they're at. When you see that happening, be ready to pitch out a plastic, a crankbait, whatever, and hang on, because you're going to get a bite about every cast. Fall is hands down one of the best times to fish, and one of the best times to target big fish. What we're doing today, we're just pitching these 1/8 ounce jigs upstream in the river, letting the current bring it down real natural. About a 1-inch piece of night crawler hanging on there, just something real natural. It's going to float through the water. Just give that rod tip a little pop. You know, calm days make this a lot easier. You don't get a bow in the line. You don't want a lot of slack. You're just going to hit a thump. They're going to probably be swimming around within their mouth, hopefully towards the boat. Reel down, set that hook, and you got them. You know, you got to be able to find fish to catch the fish, and we just rolled up to this spot and ran a side image on my Humminbird Helix, and just like that, a couple pods of fish over here, really on both sides of the boat. We're going to work this one first and see if they'll go. Just like that. You mark fish, you catch fish. He's just a little guy. I'm going to throw him back, but right by the boat, just pause it for a second, felt a little thump, and he kind of swam upstream with it. Crank it down, set the hook. Where there's one, there's another. So this spot's been a really good little trolling spot as well. But when you're continuously picking up fish in the same spot, paying attention to your graph there, you know, why do I keep catching fish every time I'm trolling through this little same area? Look down your graph, see what it is. If you're going across a point, a piece of structure, a divot, whatever it may be, that's obviously holding fish, you can really be a lot more efficient sometimes by anchoring up ahead of that, behind it, wherever you have to be, depending on what type of structure it is, and pitching jigs or plastics or even casting crankbaits to it. So instead of getting one fish every 15 or 30 minutes as you go up and by and turn around and come back downstream on that piece of structure, just throw to it and you can be a lot more precise. Trolling's a great way to find these fish and to graph everything and make some of your waypoints, weed line, structure, whatever it may be, then come back, drop your Minn coated down, spot lock, and then pitch, 50 feet away and start pitching your jigs up to it and working it over. A lot more effective most times, and you can put a lot more fish in the boat real fast. Going plastics here. Little sauger, or a little guy. But in that case, the jig was literally just laying on the bottom for a second. He came and sucked it up. So I switched over to a plastic running a current cutter, and this is even a little bit lighter jig. The plastic's probably a little heavier than your night crawler, depending on how big you're running. In this case, just a 3-inch minnow. But it's really cruising downstream pretty good. The importance here is your high vis line. Maybe a little bit different for everybody. I love a super line no matter what kind it is. This 8-pound nanofill. You're just looking for that line to pop and twitch. Sometimes you'll see it before you feel it. And having that high vis line allows you to do that when you're just naturally presenting your bait downstream. As soon as you see that line pop, twitch, you're going to reel down and set the hook, and you're good to go. A lot of times you'll see the bite long before you feel it. And that's definitely going to increase your odds. These walleye bites are really just a thap, boom, just a little thud, and they inhale that jig, keeping it light so it's easy for them to inhale it, and setting the hook. No, a super line of whatever kind it may be, no stretch makes things extremely that much more sensitive. Once again, I have a fluorocarbon leader tied onto here. An Alberto knot works really good, keeping that knot real thin and narrow and streamlined so it's not knocking on the rod, the eyelets as I'm casting it out there, making for a little bit longer cast. A uni to uni works good. That Alberto's nice and thin. The FG is probably my favorite, just takes a little longer to tie, but it's really, really strong. The idea is just to tie that leader on and not have a big bulky knot that's going to knock your eyelet every time you cast it out.